Microsoft 365 is a suite of cloud-based productivity tools, emphasizing its flexibility and collaboration features. Today, we will go over some Microsoft 365 basics and getting started with your account. Microsoft 365 includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams, and we'll briefly touch on how to use these and access these. Let's get started. All JCPS employees can access Microsoft 365 by going to jcps.me/mail and then hitting enter. You will be directed to sign in with your JCPS email. You will also need to authenticate. If you're unsure of your email or password, please call our care center Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 502-485-3552 or select Forgot Password to change your password. After authenticating, you will be redirected to a Microsoft 365 site. This is where we can adjust some settings, such as our themes, dark mode, and most importantly, to make adjustments to our language or our time zone. You want to ensure that your time zone is correct as you'll be receiving calendar invites and emails based on these settings. This is where we can make adjustments to the display language, preferred languages, and our time zone. To change the time zone, you would select time zone and then change time zone. To go back, we're going to hit on the 9 dots and then Microsoft 365. Adjustments and changes in settings can be made at any time. It is also very important to note that you should not change your password here. If you need to change your password, go to jcps.me/password. You can access your Microsoft 365 account from any device. It does not have to be a JCPS device, and that will give you access to all the tools below, including Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Forms. As you access different documents and videos, you will see that they are listed in quick access. These are the documents I have recently opened or shared. You also have the option up at the top to view My Day. This is a quick way to take a glimpse at your calendar for different meetings or events that you have planned in Outlook. We can see our to-do list and our calendar. We can see it by day and the hours we have open. If you go and you select the day and you have something scheduled, it will pop up here. Now let's move into some of these Microsoft applications. First, we'll start with Outlook. Outlook is for sending and receiving emails, managing your calendar, and scheduling meetings and events. After clicking on Outlook, a new tab will open of all your emails. Just as we viewed the day agenda in our previous tab, all that information comes from what is in Outlook. We'll see that same schedule right here on our calendar. If we want to create a new event for our calendar, whether to block out time or to schedule a meeting with someone, we'll hit New Event. We'll put a title. And again, if you just want to block out part of your schedule for the day, you don't have to invite anyone. But if you would like someone to attend, this is where you will enter that. I'm going to invite my colleague. What's great about this feature is it shows us when they are available today and upcoming days. If we want to switch to a different day, it will adjust and show us suggested times for that person. So we now have a meeting scheduled for 30 minutes from 10:30 to 11, or we can adjust that and make it an hour. Here we'll want to select if this is an in-person event or a virtual event. If this is a virtual event, a Teams meeting will be created. We'll jump into Teams in those meetings in just a bit. If it's an in-person event, we'll want to put the room to where we're going to meet. This is also where we can attach different files or meeting agendas that we would need for the day. You'll want to put a brief description on what this meeting could be about. End of the year planning. Once you have everything set, you'll also want to select how you would like this to look on your calendar. What this means is if someone else wanted to schedule something with you, how would your schedule appear for them? We're going to select busy because I will be meeting with this person for an hour. Now, if I wanted to block out my calendar so no one could schedule with me because I'm out of the office, the first thing I would do is select out of the office. And now I'm going to do the 4th of July because I will be out of the office all day. I'm going to title this Out of the Office and then select that this is an all-day event and that it will look like I am busy. My schedule will show that I am busy or out of the office. And save. If you'd like to share your calendar with a coworker or teammate, you'll hit share. In here, you can view the people that you've already shared your calendar with and the details. If I want to no longer give someone access to my calendar, I'll simply hit the trash can. Here, they can see all of the details. If you want your team to only be able to see just when you're busy, but not the details of who you're meeting with, you'll select Can View I'm Busy. If you want them to be able to edit your events and calendar, you'll want to select Edit. I want my team to just be able to view all details, such as being able to see where I am, who I'm with, and the times. To add a new person, you will just go into the search and start typing their name. And then we'll select the kind of rights or role that they'll need. And then share. They'll receive an email to accept that invite. Now let's head back to our email. To help keep things organized, you can create folders for your emails. These are things that you may want to reference later on. To create a new folder, next to folders, you'll just want to select the 3 dots, and then you can create a new folder and name it whatever you wish. It'll be at the bottom of your current list. You'll type in the name of your folder, and you can move it as you wish. If you want to move it to the top, you can. You can also take one folder and grab it and move it into another. To see your subfolders, you'll hit this little arrow here, and you'll now see your folders. If you start having issues with receiving emails or maybe everything's going to your junk mail, you would want to check your roles. You can check your roles by navigating to View, View Settings, and View Roles. You can remove or create new roles. The roles is what will take an email from one person or email group and move it to that folder directly. If we want to add a new role, we'll select New Role and then enter our information. If we want it from a certain person or email group, in the subject line, anything that says Google Classroom will automatically move, and we're going to create a new folder. I'm going to create a Google Classroom folder. So now anything that comes in that says Google Classroom will automatically go to this folder. That if you create folders and you create roles, you will still need to check these folders as emails come in. If you want to continue with the role, you'll hit Save, and now we'll see that here. If we no longer wish to have this role, we'll just hit the trash can to delete it. Also, to manage your junk mail, you'll hit Junk Mail, and you can scroll down and select which senders you want to automatically go to junk. If you want to remove a sender, hit the trash can, and again, you can add that. You can add their email or their name right here and hit OK. Now let's create a new email. We'll hit New Email, and we'll type who it's to, what it's going to be called, and now our message. As you see at the bottom, our email has a tab here. By hitting the X, the email will go into draft. We can hit draft and select that again. If we want to completely delete it, we can hit trash to remove that. This is also where we will set up our signature. We can create a signature or use one we currently have. To the left of signature, you have attached file. If you have any files you want someone to read or have access to, Now let's dig into signature. This is the current signature we already have, and we can add a new one if needed. By hitting signature, you can either add a new signature or use one we currently have. This is the one I currently have. This is a picture that I've created in a different program and attached here. If you want to create a new signature, we can type in how we'd like that to look. So now for my signature, I just have my name and my role. I've made adjustments to each line. The top line is bold and larger than the second line. You can also insert pictures here. If you have a link or a website you want to insert, you can select Insert Link. Now that I've added this line, please visit our Technical Learning Center at jsps.me/TLC. I'm going to highlight the jsps.me/TLC and select for that to be a link. And then save. So you will now see my two different signatures. If you have a signature you no longer wish to use, simply select it here and hit delete. And save. After making our adjustments to the email by adding a signature, attaching a file, inserting links, and of course adding a title, a message, and the email addresses of those we wish to send the email to, you can hit send or schedule for later. I actually do not need to send an email anymore, so I'm going to hit delete. We can discard this draft, and it is gone. Now let's move over to Microsoft Word. By selecting on Microsoft Word on the left-hand side, we will have the option to open our recent documents or a blank documents or choose from one of the templates. Let's open a meeting notes template. Here in Word, we can use different fonts, styles, and headings to create a document the way that we need, whether we're creating a report, meeting notes, or collaborating on a project. When working with others, you can add comments to the doc. You can send a comment directly to a certain person or to everyone. We can send it to a certain person by hitting @ and then typing in their email. Assign to. To share or collaborate on a document with others, you'll want to hit share. To share or collaborate with others on a document, you're going to hit share up at the top, share again, and then type in their email address. After you select the email address of the person you wish to share your document with, you'll then want to select the access that they need to have. So if you want them to have the same access as you, you'll hit Can Edit. If you just want them to view the document, you'll hit Can View. Can't download means they can view, but they can't download this to their computer. Can Review means they can only suggest changes. Or you can copy the link directly and you can put that in your email. If you want to see who has access to your document, you'll hit Share and Manage Access. After you've selected for the users to have the role that they need to have, you can also add comments. You can send a comment directly to a person, and we're going to ask this person to help with invite. Sign and send. If you send a comment to someone that doesn't have access, you'll receive this notice to provide them with access. Provide access, and then your comment will go through. Your comment will be listed on the right-hand side. It's also important when you work on a document with someone or sharing, you title that document. We're going to call this Meeting Notes for June. If you're collaborating on a document and you want to see all the comments and activity you may have missed, you can hit Catch Up. Catch Up will show all the activity that has been on the document you're collaborating on. If you have edit rights, you can also select Version History to see the history of the document and all changes that have been made by all the editors. Now that we understand how to share our document and assign rights for collaboration, let's move over to some of the other applications. Let's move into Microsoft Teams. Teams is Microsoft's communication tool for chatting, video calls, and working together on projects. Teams allows you to create groups along with sending instant messages to your coworkers. By selecting chat, you can send a direct message to someone within your organization. By selecting calendar, you may see any of your meetings that are scheduled on your calendar in Outlook here in Teams. Just like we've shown before with creating events, if you select a virtual event, which is not in person, it will create a Teams meeting. You can also create a new meeting here or Start a meeting now. Start a meeting now, you can get a link to share with your colleagues that you wish to have join you. I've now created this Teams meeting and I'm going to copy this. And then I can go over to chat and send that directly to a colleague. And when I'm ready, I can start the meeting. It's important to note that when you join a Teams meeting, you will want to enable your device's camera and microphone. Your first screen will allow you to select your microphone, camera, and your display name. You can toggle your camera on or off. By selecting the settings, you can select the microphone, speakers, and camera you wish to use. When you're ready to join the meeting, you'll hit join now. And again, we can add people by sending an email, copying a link, or inviting them directly. Once you join, you will see how long the meeting has been in session, the chat, along with a log of who has joined the meeting, the people in it, the ability to raise your hand. When someone raises their hand on the participants section, you'll see a little hand raise here, along with the organizer and the attendees of the meeting. Everyone in the meeting can send emojis. You can adjust the view. And by selecting more, this is where you'll find your option to start a recording. So if you have a class, a training session that is virtual, you can create a recording. In Teams, you have the ability to upload or adjust your background. You can do this by selecting more, video effects and settings. You can select none, select a preloaded one, or upload your own. To enable or disable your camera and mic, you'll simply select on the icons. This is also where you can make the adjustments of which microphone or camera to use if you have multiple, and if you'd like to share your screen as the presenter. When you're done with your Teams meeting, it is very important that you end the meeting if you are the organizer. If you don't wish to start an instant meeting, you can schedule a meeting. This is very similar to scheduling a meeting or event in your calendar. We're going to schedule a team meeting. We're going to select who is required. We can also select optional. Optional attendees may join the meeting, but they are not required to. You can invite individuals by their email or full email groups that you have created. You'll select the day, the time. This meeting is scheduled for 30 minutes. I'm going to adjust it and schedule it for 1 hour. Since this is our team meeting, I would like this to repeat once a week. Repeat once a week, starting this day every Monday until further notice. So now this meeting will be every Monday from 2 to 3 until further notice. As you can see, online meeting is enabled. Again, this is where we can add other links to different files such as meeting notes or just put a description. But if we were going to schedule this recurring meeting, we would hit send. And then that would appear on our Teams calendar and Outlook calendar. If you need to call a colleague instead of having a chat, you can hit calls and call them directly. As long as they have Teams set up and logged in, you'll be able to reach them right away. On the top right, this is where we'll make adjustments to our account. As you can see, I'm currently available. But if I'm in a meeting or presenting in a meeting, I may select Do Not Disturb. This way, I do not get messages or chats or phone calls while working on another project or in a team meeting with others. Or set a work status. It may be important to set a work status if you are out of the office or maybe at a conference and need to select that you have limited availability to your email and messaging. When you're done with Teams, you can always head back to 365. Now let's jump into PowerPoint. PowerPoint is Microsoft's presentation tool. You can insert text, images, and other elements to create presentations. Just like in Word, you can select Share and then provide access to your colleagues to collaborate on our projects together, or copy a link. You can also comment and catch up. You'll notice now you will have a present option. With PowerPoint, you have multiple presentation options. You can present live, you can present your slideshow and start from the beginning, or you can present in Teams. If you have a Teams meeting and you wish to give your presentation, you can select Present in Teams. You can use Designer to use an already created template. When you want to add new slides or more, just select New or More. By selecting the down arrow, you can change the layout. Each layout already has the option for you to submit a video online, a stock image, or from your computer. After selecting on a stock image, you can hit Insert, and it'll automatically pop up onto your slideshow. PowerPoint has many options on how to create engaging presentations. You can use transitions and animations to make your photos or slides appear in different ways. You'll see this once you hit Present. And there's many different design features to explore with PowerPoint. Just as with Word, to manage the access of your presentation, you'll hit Manage Access. If you have a slide that you don't like the layout, you can always adjust the layout at any point in time. By selecting Insert up at the top, you can insert pictures, tables, videos, audio, shapes, images, and so much more. If you make a mistake on a slide, you can always hit Undo to return that. Now let's head back to Microsoft 365. And lastly, let's take a look at Microsoft Excel. Excel is great for organizing data, making calculations, and creating charts. Let's create a new spreadsheet. We can use Excel to create basic formulas for calculations. I'm going to quickly make a table here. I'm going to create a chart in Excel to show the fundraiser data for my location. We're going to list the name of the teachers. We now have our 5 teachers' names. And now we're going to do our days of the week. As you can see, Wednesday was a little small. So we can adjust that by going to the top of the column and double clicking. That is going to make that wider. Now we're going to input the amount that each class raised on each day. And then we're going to finish up the rest of the week. Now that we have our table in here, let's make some calculations. Whenever you want to input a function, you hit equal and then the function you want. So I want to know the total for each day. As you can see, once I type in equals sum, Excel automatically finishes the format for me. So I can now see that the cells B5 through B9 are going to be calculated for the sum. I can now make my cursor a little plus by going to the bottom right corner, going over, and here we go. These are the sums for each day. And then I can do it again. Equal sum. We're now going to see, so the total that was raised all together from B11 to F11. Click on that, and we raised this amount of money. Now what I want is to change this into currency. So we're going to select currency for the format. We can now see this in the currency format. If you do not want to see anything after the decimal point, we'll select currency again, more number formats, and then for decimal places, take that down to 0. So now there is no decimal points here. Let's say I want to add another row. We can select the row, right click, insert row above, and that gives us a little bit more space. I now want to know the average of each day. So we're going to do equal, and then as soon as we type in average, we'll see that there. And just like with our sum function, on the bottom right corner. Once it turns into a plus, we'll drag. And this is the average. And we'll adjust our formatting again to make it centered. And we can now see the average amount that each class brought in daily. If we'd like, we can turn this into a graph. After highlighting the data we want to analyze, we'll go to Data and Analyze Data. And we can insert a chart to help us see the results. Let's name this chart. This is now our fundraiser data, and we can see the ledger here at the bottom is for each teacher and the day of the week. Just like with our other Microsoft applications, we can share this with our team to collaborate. Most importantly, with any presentation, document, spreadsheet, or anything else you may share with your team, you want to give it a name. And now we have a nice Excel spreadsheet that will show us our averages, quickly calculated the sum, and how to create a chart based on that data. You can find this and other IT resources on our digital learning channel by going to jsps.me/digital learning or selecting your JSPS quick links and our JSPS digital learning channel.